And then later, about 1382, along came another great reformer. He was called the Morning Star of the Reformation because he was the one who actually put the scriptures in the language of the people. His name was John Wycliffe, and you'll find it spelt differently because they didn't have the rules of spelling now. Sometimes it's Wycliffe, it's Wycliffe, it's Whitecliffe. But everyone in history knows who this great reformer was. He was the one who really inspired so many others, like Huss and like Luther. He spoke, but he was a priest. He was a Roman Catholic priest. But he realized as he read the scriptures, he was a professor in England, and he said, they're not following the Bible. He spoke against the abuses in the church. He spoke against the way they were robbing the people of funds, and that the priests were living in luxury, and the monks. He challenged the idea that they would sell forgiveness for sin for money. See, the idea of purgatory and never burning hell that begins at death, it became very profitable because the church said only the church has the right to get people out of hell. Before you go to hell forever, you might just go to purgatory and there's still hope for a while. But we decide who gets out of purgatory. If you make a good offering, we will pray. Only the priests have this power. And we can shorten their time in purgatory or get them out right away. Depends on how much you give. And so the people in their superstition, they didn't have the Bible. They didn't know any different. They believed. And they were being abused. They were being exploited and robbed. So he spoke against those abuses. He challenged the indulgences. Here's what Wycliffe said. It is plain to me that our prelates, in granting indulgences, do commonly blaspheme the wisdom of God. He repudiated the confessional. Private confession, he wrote, was not ordered by Christ and was not used by the apostles. He reiterated the biblical teaching on faith. Trust wholly in Christ, rely altogether on his sufferings, beware of seeking to be justified in any other way than by his righteousness. He believed that every Christian should have access to the scriptures. He began translating the Bible into English in 1382, and I think it's safe to say the English translation of the Bible that he effected altered history more than any other document. Some of you have King James Bibles. You've got New King James. Even if you've got an NIV Bible, all of those Bibles grew out of the original translation by Wycliffe. There were no Bibles in the vernacular of the common people. The Bibles were in Latin, and they were very few. The first Bible that Luther ultimately found was a Latin Bible. If he had not learned Latin at the pushing of his father earlier, he never would have been able to read it. But Wycliffe put the Bible in the language of the people, and it changed history.